The final set of the year officially released this past Friday. Today we're going to be looking at how Surging Sparks is doing. We're going to be looking at the pull rates, we're going to be looking at the top 10 cards of this set, as well as examining the artworks. Now, one thing to note, this set is brand new, so some of these prices may be a little bit crazy, and you may see a little bit of fluctuation over the next couple of weeks. Let's dive in. So as I mentioned, we're going to be looking at the pull rates here, straight from TCG Player, and this is the first time I'm seeing cards crossing that 1,000 line for a set from the Scarlet and Violet era. So if we look here, the hyper rare specifically, we're looking at 1 in 1,127 for a specific hyper rare here. And then even just looking at the special illustration rare, close to that 1,000 mark as well. For a specific SIR, we're looking at 1 in 960. Again, those are crazy pull rates. Of course, the NE is in the 1 in 87, which is not too bad. But then looking at the illustration rares as well, same thing up there, specific IRs, 1 in 300. And it's not as bad as the special illustration rares or the hyper rares, that is, but still a pretty heavy number. And then the specific URs, we're looking at 1 in 312, and then specific A-Spec cards, 1 in 159. So it's really a tough set to pull from. I mean, I've opened up a couple booster boxes, a couple of ETBs, and to be quite honest with you guys, I've only been able to pull one special illustration rare, the Lasse's Appeal, and that's about it from that category. And from the illustration rares, I'm noticing about 3 per booster box. That's been my average so far, and it more or less speaks to that because 1 in 13 just about lies in that 3 per booster box section. So that's what we look like right now for the Surging Sparks pull rates. Very tough so far. And this also feeds into why this set is a bit more expensive than some of the other sets of the Scarlet and Violet era. And just before we get into the top 10 cards here, looking at the booster box and seeing how it's doing, again, we're about 4 or 5 days now, and we're still sitting up in the high prices here. We're around $160 US per booster box from Surging Sparks, which is insane because usually when we first start a set, we're around that 105, 110. And again, I've mentioned it several times in a few of my videos about what's going on with this. Again, you could see that from the pull rates, it's tough. The stock availability of this is not as heavy as it was. It hasn't been printed as much as some of the other sets. And of course, the wholesalers did not get their regular allocation to then sell to their stores, which means that the price of this overall will be pretty heavy in comparison to other sets, that is. Will we see a dip? I mean, we could possibly. If we see like a heavy restock happen here, then we'll probably see this go down by about $10 or $15, but I don't see this going lower than 130, 140 even. I just don't think so. I mean, it's right out the gate at around 160. It'll be difficult for it to go down that much, even with a restock or a reprint, that is. So let's go into the top 10 now. The first card we're going to be looking at is the Night Stretcher, which takes the number 10 spot. Now, of course, the reason why I'm looking at it like this and not looking at it from a TCG Player is because TCG Player does not actually have an image of the card. So that was just a quick look at what the card looks like. Nothing special. Again, it's just a gold card. The reason why it's up in the top 10, that is because it is a playable card. Of course, we saw Night Stretcher in the Shrouded Fable set, and the basic trainer card there was going for a few dollars. So right away, we know that this one will be worth a few bucks for those of you who like to soup up your decks, that is. So currently going for about $31.53. If you are someone that's trying to master your set, I'd hold off on buying this card for just a little bit longer because you know what? It's probably going to dip. There's nothing spectacular about this card. It's just a little bit up there due to its playability. Currently going for $43.64. We'll see probably a little bit more of a decline, and then we may see it go back up in price a little bit here. It's a really good card, and of course we're going to see a lot of the cards from this set above the $50 mark. And again, we looked at what the pull rates are with this one, and that's probably one of the reasons why we're seeing these prices at these high points. So Jasmine's Gaze takes the number 9 spot in the top 10 of Surging Sparks. Moving on here, next up is Latios, and this is an interesting one. I actually really wanted to talk about this one, and this is number 8 here. It goes really well with the Latias EX, that is, which is the special illustration rare from this set. And one thing I wanted to note here about the price here, this one is going currently for about $44. It's climbed up now to $45, that is. And if you want this card, if you're just looking to collect this card just for the sake of the artwork, get the Japanese version. You can get this card for about $5 or $6 US. I personally did that. I was able to buy it for $5 or $6 from eBay. There's a lot of people selling this card. You can get it from Japan. Again, $5, $6 in comparison to $45. It's pretty insane, that is. So just to focus on the English version of this one, $45. We'll probably see this one increase as well as the set gets a little bit older. We may see a little bit of a further dip before that happens, but currently it is priced at $45 USD. So beautiful Latios takes the number 8 spot. And coming in number 7 is Alolan Executor EX, and this is actually a really nice card, and I'm surprised it's not further up in the pecking order, but there are just so many cards in this set that are beautiful, and that's probably the reason why. So Alolan Executor here, the beautiful crystallized tree, as I like to call it, is currently going for approximately $60. $60 US, that is, down about 35% from its pre-sale, and we could probably see this one decline a little bit further as well. Again, there's going to be a lot of popular cards in this set. I think it's a little bit expensive so far, and we might see it fall below the $50 mark in the next week or so. So just watch out for that one. So Alolan Executor, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Currently going for $60. I would watch this one a little bit more before buying it because we'll probably see this one dip a little bit further. And in the number 6 spot, and we're finally seeing our homie Pikachu EX making his debut, and we're going to probably see multiple Pikachus here today. And this one over here, nothing special, just a gold Pikachu card here. It's cute though, not gonna lie. He's got a little smile there. It looks like the OG Pikachu. I don't really like the new Pikachu cards that they made, so this one reminds me of the OG Pikachu. And this one currently is going for $72 US. That's insane. We don't usually see gold cards that expensive, but again, the pull rates are tough with this one. I don't think it's worth $72 for this Pikachu gold card. Probably has some playability with it as well, and we'll probably see this one dip at one point. So again, another card that you kind of want to watch here. But Pikachu EX, the golden Pikachu EX from Surging Sparks, takes the number 6 spot in the top 10. Coming in the number 5 spot is Lisey's Appeal. Now, this one is a beautiful card. For those of you who like the waifu cards, this is a really nice card, and it has declined substantially from its pre-release prices. So we were looking around $150, $160 US, and currently we're down all the way to around $81. So it's not a bad price point. Will it decline further? Potentially it will. She's a very popular character, however, and pull rates are tough with this one. I think the cards were a little bit overpriced, but this one does look like one of those cards that should be above the $100 mark, and it is the most popular waifu card from this set, that is. So Lisey's Appeal, a beautiful card, currently going for $81.55 USD, and it is currently the number 5 card in Surging Sparks. And now we're into our top 4. Number 4 is Milotic EX. This is actually a really nice card. And I was mentioning earlier that, you know, all the Pokemon cards in the illustration rare category have been really nice. Like they're just, you know, either in the water, half in the water in this case, and it just kind of shows you what it looks like from an underwater perspective, and Milotic is also doing that as well. It's a really, really nice card, and it's definitely worth its price point here. It's also declined a bit since it's opened, that is. It was around $100, and now we're at about $84. And again, we're seeing a lot of these cards above that $80 mark. I was saying above $50, but now we're seeing that it's actually above $80. But I do see some of these going down a little bit in price. They can't all be in that crazy price range. This is not Evolving Skies. I don't think, at least it is. But it looks like we'll see some of these prices decline a little bit more. But Milotic EX, a beautiful card, beautiful artwork, and currently is the number 4 card from the Surging Sparks set. And number 3 is Hydrogen EX from Surging Sparks. This is actually a really cool card. I love the darkness like feel to it here, and then the rainbow border, of course. That's like the new style that they've made in the last couple sets. This one over here is currently going for $93 US, dropped from around $120 US, that is. And again, this one looks like it's a card that should be below the $100 mark. I think we can probably see this one go down a little bit further. Again, we're early days here with this set. You'll probably see further decline with some of these cards, and you'll see some cards actually increase in value as well. But I think this is one of those cards that'll probably decline a little bit further, so I just watch out for that one before picking it up. So Hydrogen EX takes the number 3 spot in the top 10 from Surging Sparks. And no surprise, Latios EX makes the top 2 in the number 2 spot, that is, and it is actually a really nice card. I really like it, and it's sad that the Latios wasn't actually a special illustration rare as well, because if it was, it would probably been in that same price range. We're looking at the price here now on this one, $184 US. So this is the first time we're seeing 2 cards from a set above $100 after the first week, that is, and that's crazy. So Latios EX currently holding the number 2 spot, currently at $184. I think it's a little bit much. I think this one will go down a little bit in price as well. It's just early days, and the craze is there with it, and we've already seen the decline as well, right? So we're at 220, and now we're at 184, so we're down about $40 from its pre-market price. So Latios EX takes the number 2 spot in the top 10 from Surging Sparks. And the number 1 card from the Scarlet and Violet era overall currently is Pikachu EX, and I honestly don't think it should be worth this much money. We're gonna look at that in a second here, but just looking at the card, it's decent. There isn't anything special about it. I think it's just a mid card, as I mentioned before. Of course, I'd love to pull it. I'd love to have it in my collection. There's nothing wrong with it from that perspective, but it is not worth $408. Just caution out there for all of you guys, that is an insane price. It's just, you know, early days, as I mentioned. There's probably been only a couple of sales here. We're looking at around 70-ish sales in the last few days here, and the average was between $300 and $500. So really and truly, $408, I think it's a bit much for this card, that is. And I can't say for sure if it's going to have a major decline, because again, availability or the cost of the booster box from this set is really expensive right off the gate. A lot of pre-orders got canceled. The pull rates are insane for illustration rares, or special illustration rares, I should say. And that's probably an indicator to why all of this is happening and the price is at that point. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks if this one declines a little bit, but currently at $408, insane, completely destroys the Greninja at the moment. So Pikachu EX from Surging Sparks takes the #1 spot by a mile. That is a quick look at what is going on with Surging Sparks. It is insane. The best set of the Scarlet and Violet era so far, the most expensive set, and the most difficult set to pull from. For me, I really like some of these other special illustration rares instead of the Pikachu, such as the Latias, and some of the regular illustration rares that didn't even make the cut, such as the Skarmory or the Castform, which are really nice cards as well. My opinion right now on this one is most of these cards you want to kind of watch for a little bit because they are a little bit pricey and I don't think they're worth that much. That's just my opinion, of course. Let me know in the comments section below what your thoughts are on some of these prices and if you think they're overpriced or if you'll be going for any of them right now. And if you guys got this far in the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. My name's TRV. You guys are the greatest. We'll see you next time.